good Tuesday morning. Welcome to the WLBB Community Voice on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3, streaming live online at newstalk1330.com. This morning we're on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. My guest is trying to show you how good he looks in black, as you can see, and I'll tell you why here in just a second. He's a candidate for the Republican primary in Haralson County for Haralson County Magistrate Court. He is challenging incumbent Jason Blackman. Blackman was appointed maybe it's like 2-3 years ago to that position, but does have a challenger in the general election, which is going on May 21st. Early voting in Haralson County, just like in Haralson County, started yesterday. And in Haralson County, you cast your early ballots at the courthouse in Buchanan. Again, my guest this morning, Blane Cochran, formerly of the, actually still on the roster with the Bremen Police Department, and we'll talk about his event and his candidacy, and also want to talk about an event that he'll be taking part this evening with the Bremen Police Department in Waco. Definitely want to talk about that. We'll do that in the second segment. But right now, let us introduce you to Blane Cochran, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you for coming out to Carrollton
to
talk about your campaign. Well, first of all, tell us who you are, and then we'll find out why you're running.
Well, I've lived in Haralson County since I was a small child. Went to Bremen High School, graduated from Bremen, went to work at the Bremen Police Department in 1993. Worked there for a little over 30 years. I retired to run for office. Run for Chief Magistrate Judge. That was the reason
you retired.
Yes, sir.
So in 30 years, has Pesnell been there for 30 years?
Oh, he's been there. I think he's been there since about 35, 36.
Okay, so that means you guys basically kind of grew up together.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we're really, really good friends.
As far as seeking this position, I mean, I do take that. I guess I'm more interested in what are the qualifications to run for magistrate judge, because if you're not a judge right now, obviously you do have the law enforcement background and knowledge.
Yeah.
But what are the qualifications to run?
Well, having the law enforcement background, most of my law enforcement career, I was an investigator. So I was taking arrest warrants, search warrants.
And that'd be working with the magistrate judge
yes,
to get that
constantly,
done.
Yes. I was in magistrate court quite a bit. I mean, that's what we do. And so, over the years of doing all these different arrest warrants and search warrants, I feel like I'm pretty qualified to be the magistrate. Now, when I was on patrol but patrol commander, we dealt with civil issues a lot and referred them to the magistrate court. So, my experience as a police officer, I feel like I've kind of earned the right to run.
Blane Cochran, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program, is a candidate for Haralson County Magistrate Court. Again, early voting began yesterday in Haralson County. We talked about seeking warrants with the magistrate's office. What are all the roles? What are all the duties, requirements? What is everything that would be expected of you as a magistrate court judge?
One thing that over the years of policing that I've seen happen, I don't like for sex offenders to get a bond. A child molester, rapist. I've worked many child molestation cases, and I would deny bonds on sex offenders.
If they're just accused at that point.
Well, they are, but I can tell you from working those cases, when you got probable cause to take a warrant for that, I don't think they should get a bond because they could get out and hurt another child. And I just want to make sure that doesn't happen. Drug traffickers, I'll be denying their bonds as well. And I'm going to be tough on repeat offenders. Now, as the law allows a first-time offender, I want to help people out. People do make mistakes, and I get that. When I was policing, I tried to treat people the way I'd want to be treated if I was in their situation. And I think that's how I was able to communicate with people and get on their level, whatever level they were on, whatever the case was at the time. I think that's how I was able to last in law enforcement for so long. That old Bible verse, do unto others you'd have them do unto you. I tried to kind of live by that. Now, there are many times that an offender would not let me treat them the way I'd want to be treated. And I did my job either way.
The position, is it a Monday through Friday gig? You got to be available on weekends as well, perhaps?
Yeah, it's there's another associate judge up there that we would probably take turns being on call. But yeah, I mean it's Monday through Friday, but you're on call on the weekends as well for warrants.
So for warrants, but is the magistrate court caught up? You think? I mean, are they? We see a lot of our courts are kind of lagging behind, maybe because of COVID. And
they are very good. The staff at the magistrate court now, they're very good. Those girls are amazing. They really are. They know how to do their jobs, and they do it very efficiently.
Does Haralson County use the e-warrant system yet?
Yes,
they do use it.
Yes,
all right. Because Carroll County
we've been using
now.
Yeah, we've been using the e-warrants for probably, I'm gonna say 2.5, 3 years.
Okay, wow. Well, then, as an officer, I mean, I guess what improvements as far as your job as an officer have you seen?
Well, you don't have to go try to track down a judge. You don't have to run back and forth to the courthouse. I like the current judge lives in Tallapoosa, that Tallapoosa area. If it's a weekend, you get called out and you need to take a warrant, then you would have to drive to his house. I live in Bremen.
Yeah, you guys are in Bremen.
So I would have to go to the office and type the warrant out and print it out and take it to him. Whereas now, I just would go to the office, or I could use my phone, type a warrant out, send it to him. He'd call me, swear me in, or she, and that's it. Print the warrant out. It goes to the jail, comes back to me, goes back to the magistrate's office. So,
and I mean that seems like a significant improvement.
Oh, that's great.
Are there anything else in the local court system? And I granted some improvements cost money, so that's why they're kind of pushed behind. But are there any other improvements that you see are necessary? Could definitely benefit the magistrate court.
Well, I go back to bonds again. Excuse me. I think there needs to be a better communication between law enforcement and the judges sometimes. I won't argue with officers when probable cause exists for a warrant. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to argue with them. Now, we'll discuss the warrant, but, I support law enforcement, and they know what they're doing when it comes to warrants. All the investigators I've ever worked with, they're pretty sharp. They're not an investigator because they were slackers, So whenever it gets to the point where they're going to take a warrant, I'm going to listen to them. I'm not going to argue with them. And, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to sign the warrant.
Blane Cochran, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. He's a candidate in the Republican primary for Haralson County Magistrate Court. And if any questions or comments, I encourage you to post those to the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page, and we'll share them with him during one of our segments this morning. Challenges, we talked about maybe some improvements that could be made. Personal challenges for the job. What do you see as the biggest challenges? I mean, something that could lead anybody to make a mistake as a magistrate court judge. What's something you have to overcome as an obstacle?
Maybe the civil area of the magistrate court. You want to help people out. Example, renters. If you come to me and you want to evict someone because they're destroying your home, I want to help you out. But you're not going to evict somebody just because you don't like them or something like that. So you got to follow the law when it comes to that. But at the same time, I see people that I know who own properties and they're renting to people and they're destroying their homes and they can't get them out. So that's an obstacle that I've got to overcome. The criminal side, I think, will be very easily. Like I said, I've been doing that for over 30 years, and I have confidence in all the officers in Haralson County. Know most all of them.
Are you familiar with the new squatters law? I think Kemp just signed it, or he's about to sign it.
I'm not totally familiar with it yet, but
and I guess in summary, people have rights. Even if they've been evicted, they've had the rights to stay in the apartment. Or people who aren't. I guess if you have a free property that nobody's using at that point, it's okay. That anybody can come and stay in there.
I don't agree with that.
Time. Have you guys experienced anything like that in Bremen or Haralson County?
Yes, we have.
But you weren't able to get them out because of state law at that point?
Yeah, it's hard. I don't agree that somebody could just, if I own a house and it's vacant, somebody just move in it and live for free. I mean, I have to pay for water and power and mortgage, so I don't think it's right. I don't agree with it.
Blane Cochran, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. Time right now is 8:40. We will take our first break. We do want to let Blane talk about an event that's going on that'll be headed up by the Bremen Police Department in Waco this evening. We'll do that after this first break. Again, Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy is an innovative school of academic excellence celebrating over 61 years. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to join us on the mountain to see our mission and vision in action. Academic excellence, a faith-based environment, and dynamic opportunities are just a few of the reasons our families choose Oak Mountain Academy. Academic scholarships and tuition assistance are available. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
8:41. Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3. My name is Colin Worthington. My guest this morning is Blane Cochran. He's a candidate for Haralson County Magistrate Court. And again, early voting started yesterday. You can do so at the Haralson County Courthouse in Buchanan before May the 21st. And on May the 21st, you will do that in your regular polling place. You're inside your regular precinct. But until then, you can vote early. It's a 3-week period. You can go vote early. And this race is on the ballot. It's one you'll want to consider. And also, the question, did a story on it today, the question on giving a tax exemption to senior citizens age 65 and up. Residents have to vote on that, have to approve it for it to actually happen. So if you don't like your seniors, vote against it. And if you like them, you think they should get it, go there and vote for that. But it is on the ballot as well. But this morning we're talking to Blane Cochran, Haralson County Magistrate Court candidate. Did want to mention there's an event. I gave a little 2-second blurb about it in my local news this morning, but perhaps you can talk a little more detail. It's a drug awareness summit. It's going to be at the WGTC Murphy campus in Waco, shedding light on addiction and recovery. And I saw a bunch of statistics that I won't ask you to know all of them, but it was about Haralson County. It's pretty scary statistics and enough reason to hold a drug awareness summit, I would think. What's going to happen tonight?
So, food will be provided. It'll be, there's several guest speakers. They'll also have peers. So I'm on the board at Your Haven, which is AANA place where it's a place of recovery. When I was a police officer, I would run across people who would have an addiction problem. Most of the time it was an addiction to heroin or meth, and I would try to help them. That's a sickness. It really is, and I think that's another. I'll get back to that in just a second, but that's another reason I'm running for magistrate judge, because some people need help with their addiction, not just jail. So I want to kind of offer this help through Your Haven if I'm elected. If I have people to come across and they're charged, I've done it many times as a police officer. A lot of times I'd have to charge them, but then I would try to contact the magistrate's office and see if we could bond them out to a facility, rehabilitation facility. There's places like Center of Hope in Alabama, the Salvation Army, sent several people to those places in lieu of going to jail, just to help them get recovery. I'm actually going, after I leave here today, I'm going to the Carroll County Court to try to help a subject. I will not call his name, of course, but he came to me, him and his dad, and wanted help. And he has been at the Center of Hope for the last, I think, probably 6 months, doing great, gained all his weight back. Just,
Can you say what finally put him in that position to seek help?
I'm sorry?
Can you say what finally put him in that position that he wanted to seek
Well,
help?
he was charged, and he was, like, broken. I mean, he knew that he was kind of at his wit's end. He knew he needed recovery, needed help. And that's something that Your Haven does. You know, that's why, I'm on the board there. As a police officer, I could help. As a chief magistrate judge, I can help. I plan on remaining on the board at Your Haven to help people. The event tonight, we call them peers, people that have been in recovery. They're going to give their stories and talk about their addiction, how they fought through it. It'll be a really good event. Everybody's welcome to show up and support, because these people and their families need this support. The families is a big thing too. As a police officer, they would come to me, want to know, what can we do? What can we do? Breaking them financially, breaking their homes, destroying their property. Just so many different incidents that have taken place for so many different people just because of drugs. Mm-hmm. Alcohol too. I've sent one person to recovery for alcohol, but it's mainly, in our area, it's mainly drugs that I've seen that we send to recovery.
I did see that the one stat that Haralson County, in 2020, I guess the last time the stats were released, Haralson County was number 4 in the state as far as opioid use.
Yes,
And,
yes.
yeah, it's pretty scary.
We, I know at Bremen Police Department, I can't speak for every agency, but I'm pretty sure most agencies are carrying Narcan in their vehicles. I know we've saved dozens of lives. We have been to calls where the person is absolutely blue and hit them with a Narcan and they come back to life. And so I think that's a good thing that law enforcement is prepared to save lives. That's what we're there for, to serve and protect. So I want to, again, why I'm running is once you get past all that, like domestics, people, I think the offender should probably stay in jail for at least 24 hours to kind of cool down. And of course, at their first appearance hearings, I'll hear what went on and decide on bond conditions after that. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times with those domestics, drugs and alcohol, it's related. They kind of go hand in hand. So if a guy's knocking around his wife because he's high on dope and comes to me and says, "Hey, Judge, I messed up. I need help," that's where Your Haven comes in as well.
Would that be something you make mandatory as far as getting bail? As far as
yes,
getting bond?
That would be part of his bond conditions. Of course, each case will be different, but I think that, like I said, repeat offenders, I'm going to be tough on them. Mm-hmm. Your first-time offender, as the law allows, I'm going to try to help them out.
Blane Cochran, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program, candidate for Haralson County Magistrate Court. We will take our final break, come back with about 10 minutes in the show. Again, if you have any questions or comments, I encourage you to post those to the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page, and I will look at those one last time. Or, as I say, if you don't have any, you're going to be stuck with whatever I pull out here and ask our guest this morning. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
The AP Scholar Journey at Oak Mountain Academy is designed to provide students with a clearly defined advanced placement curriculum track to earn a series of distinctions upon graduation. This journey enables academically prepared students to pursue college-level studies throughout 17 AP courses in 5 subject categories while enrolled at OMA. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice, News Talk 1330 FM 106.3. My name's Colin Worthington. My guest is Haralson County Magistrate Court candidate Blane Cochran, Bremen police officer for 30 years. So,
yes.
Yeah, more than 3 decades in law enforcement. What are your thoughts on alternative dispute resolution methods such as mediation and arbitration? Because civil cases, right?
Yes, civil cases. One thing I want to say, I'll recuse myself, whether it's criminal or civil, if it's a family member, good friend. I don't want people to think I'm going to be partial, the old good old boy system. Now,
well, how possible is that? Is it like 57% chance that you're going to know the person being an officer?
I know a lot of people in Haralson, in the West Georgia area, and I'll have to recuse myself. I want to be fair. I want to be transparent.
Is that not happening now, or we don't see it?
I can't say that. I'm not going to speak bad about my opponent. He and I have different politics. I feel like, and that's why I'm running for the position. But I'm not going to talk bad about him. I just not going to do that.
And let me go back to this as far as civil suits. I mean, what are your thoughts on mediation and arbitration? I mean, are those commonly used, or those?
It all depends on the case. So the civil suits are all different. So I just have to weigh each party and go from there.
Okay. And how much of the job are civil suits? I mean, that's got to be on a daily basis too.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I don't have the numbers, but I know that the staff up there deal with it constantly. And it's like small claims court, basically. Yeah. I think there's a $15,000 limit in magistrate court, but it goes on every day.
And Kirsten Phillips, I mean, she was on the program. She's running for the same position in Carroll County, and she did refer to it as People's Court. And I'm sure a lot of people do too. But
it is the People's Court.
It does take me back to Judge Wapner for that half hour.
Absolutely. And Kirsten's good. She and I are close friends, and I think she does a great job.
Truancy. I see that if I check out the Haralson County Jail once a week, compared to Carroll County Jail. I don't see that a lot. I don't see people in for truancy in Carroll County, but I do see it a lot in Haralson County. What's that the result of, and how do you?
Let me tell you the difference in Haralson and Carroll on truancy. I'm 99.9% sure that the juvenile court handles truancy in Carroll County. Magistrate handles it in Haralson. So there's a lot of truancy in Haralson County, and I want to work. I've spoke with the superintendent, Mr. Bell, and his staff about the truancy, and what I would like to do to stop truancy, because I believe every child deserves a good education. And in Haralson County, there's some families that are very poor, and they feed these children breakfast and lunch, the best meals they'll get all day, plus an education.
What responsibility do parents have in that too?
Well, Bremen school system doesn't have buses, but Haralson County does. And if they get their kids up and get them on the bus, that's not that hard. Mm-hmm. Just get up out of bed, get your kids ready, get them on the bus. But when you've got a lot of repeat offenders in truancy, so most of the time, they might get a $100 fine, but the law states that we can charge them up to $100, but we could also give them community service. We could also put them in jail for 30 days, up to 30 days.
We could all use some community service.
Yes. And it would depend, again, repeat offenders, the first time is a $100 fine. After that, I'm going to look at the case, but they may be spending a little bit of time in jail.
I was telling Joel, our camera guy, yesterday that, this is in the late 80s when I was going to high school. There could have been times my junior and senior year where I may have just left at lunch and bought a bag of Doritos and that big orange cheese dip and just went home at noon. And but I guess that was, could have gotten in trouble for that.
Yeah.
But the things have probably changed a little bit.
The whole thing is the parent gets in trouble now.
Well, my parents were gone. They were at work, so they'd never know. They never knew. I may have told them 20 years ago.
Well, that's one thing that I want to be fair but tough at the same time when it comes to truancy.
How about your temperament? Are you a chill dude? Do you need to be a chill dude when you're in those courts?
I'm pretty mild-mannered. And, working in law enforcement for 30 years, you have to be. You have to be able to, I've been in many chases and vehicle chases and foot chases and fights, so to speak, and, you have to go from 100 miles an hour to stop, and so by policing for so many years, I've learned to be able to do that. My temperament is, anybody that knows me well enough knows that I'm going to be pretty mild-mannered, but I will apply the law to whatever situation, comes before me.
The new gig would start in January of 2025.
Yes.
Would start. What are some things that you would have to do that first week to get prepared, to catch up?
Well, there's training, and I believe it's at UGA that I would have to go to for several weeks concerning criminal and civil, and it would just, I'm pretty sure that even if elected, I would have to do that every year anyway. So if I'm elected May 21st, I'll start making arrangements to get that training done, so I'll be prepared to start January 25.
When you talk to potential constituents, do they know exactly what your role is, or do you have to re-explain to them exactly what I'm doing as a magistrate, what I'm doing as a magistrate?
If they're, law enforcement, have any experience in law, they know what it is. But, most of your average...
You're not saying, why did you let that murderer off?
Yeah. But most of your average people don't know what a magistrate judge does. So, when I run across people that don't know, I try to explain the position and what I would be doing, like I've been doing on the show today.
Mm-hmm. They would, people who would vote for this, they'd have to just a guy or gal who they have confidence in that position, someone they trust, just based on those duties.
Yeah, and part of it might be a popularity contest.
Sure.
I want to do the job. I want to get the job, and I want to do the job and do it right.
And it's somebody who's in that position, an incumbent. If they, gave bail to somebody who they weren't, who may have gone and done something bad the next day, then they have that black mark, and that's something else they can carry on and pay attention to. But for the most part, it's just going to be, I believe it's a position that they're just, their experience with you, with
yes.
that person. You've got 1 minute, Blane. So I'm heading out. I'm at my house, and you've walked up my steps and said, "Hey, give me a second. I want you to consider voting for me." What are you going to tell me in that 1 minute?
I want to tell you that I've been policing for over 30 years. That I've seen just about every kind of situation you can imagine in that, which I feel like qualifies me to run for this position. I want to have fair but equal justice. I want to make sure that child molesters and rapists and drug trafficking people, they don't get out of jail. Their bonds are denied. A lot of your aggravated assaults, their bonds are denied. I don't want violent criminals on the street.
Blane Cochran, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. If you missed any of it, you can go back and watch it because it'll be on Facebook forever. Go back and any comments or that you may have posted, or it will during the day when you get a chance to watch it. Hopefully, Blane will go back and look, and perhaps you can answer those for them.
Yes.
But thank you. Good to meet you. Thanks
yes,
for coming
sir.
down, and thank you for watching and listening to this morning's Community Voice, News Talk 1330 FM 106.3. I know tomorrow's guest is a candidate for some race. I just have to check, and I'll do that after the show. But tune in Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week. Community Voice begins at 8:30. Have a great Tuesday.